Hey everybody, how we doing this fine Sunday afternoon? Here we are at the Lawrence County Museum, as promised. Get you a shot of the sign here. Our museum here in Ironton for Lawrence County was established in 1988, as you see there. This is the old home or house that houses the museum here. Try to get you a shot of that there, guys. And of course, we have the old set of carriage steps out here. You know how the carriage would pull up and you'd have to get out. So the plaque on the side of the old carriage steps there. I hope y'all can hear me all right. Hello to Corey Still, Orange Cones, Ida Anson, haha, and to Cody. How's everybody doing this fine Sunday? Hopefully everybody's having a good day. And we're going to go in and check out the museum, guys. So here we go. You got to be kidding me. You didn't think to do this before I started a live video. I'm live with everybody right now.
Hello, everybody.
All right, guys. Dell is holding up the show. She couldn't have done this 10 minutes ago. Has to do it now. There you go.
Thank you.
Put that in there for me. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. There. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Let's try this again. One more time. If I can, when I leave, can I get a shot from across the street to see the whole house? Yes, Orange Cones, I certainly will. Remind me of that before I shut it down. I absolutely will. And here we are. I don't know where they went yet. I have to find out. Oh, there you are. Who do I give the donations to?
Nicole.
And guys, I want to say thank you to Work Lion, Dark Watch, and Blanche Bowles for donating money. We made up between them and me. We're at $163 today. Is how much we are donating to the museum to use their time. So I know I'm kind of dancing around here, not showing you much at the moment. Give me just a minute.
Say, hey, Nicole. I really don't know where she went.
Well, I don't know where she went either. Let's go see if we can find her. And of course, guys, I'm here with Penny Press.
So are you giving us a tour, Miss Nicole?
Peggy would probably be the better one to do it.
Well, no, then I said let you do it because, you
Guys, these are the ladies. This is Nicole. She's the president of the museum.
And she's the former president.
And she's the former president. And
So I
what's
feel
your
like
name?
a VIP. I get to speak to the president and former president.
That's right.
So who do I give the donation money to? Who is responsible for the money?
Either one, or there's a box out there for donations.
Well, I'll just hand it to you. There's $163 there.
Thank you
that
so
my
much.
subscribers have put together so that we can come and walk the museum today.
So this building, this house was built in 1870, so it's in constant need of repairs. We've had roof work done, the gutters need done, foundation work done, the basement's being repaired. So a lot of the cash donations, that's what it goes to. It's just maintaining the building. That's the kind of stuff we can't get grants for. So greatly appreciated. Okay,
So you heard that, guys. If you want to donate, my Cash App again is SMK for you. You can send me some money on Cash App, and I will make sure the museum gets it.
Yeah, we'll give you a receipt before you leave.
And you guys out there, you know how to donate to mine. So if you want it to come to the museum, please make sure you let me know that in the near future, and I'll make sure that it comes here.
So if you want to go down the hallway to the left, we can start there if you like.
Well, you can go ahead.
So this is my favorite room. If I had to pick one, this is the iron furnace room. I love the old industry stuff, the steel factories that didn't actually make steel, but we have steel factories. So we have what people see now is kind of this part left. This is argillite from Kentucky, but what people see now are these stone stacks. Etna furnace, Vesuvius, they've seen those. This was the whole operation though. So this is what isn't there anymore. So this kind of shows piece by piece all the materials that went into it, how they got it to the top. That's a common question. How did they get it to the top? So we don't have any of these buildings left in any of the furnaces we have, but this I think is the most fascinating part of it. And then we have, so these buildings are no longer there either. The store and the manager's home out at Vesuvius was close to where the furnace was. But most of these towns had schools, churches, stores, and now there's not much left.
I think that one's really cool.
Yeah, this is my favorite part.
Yeah, I saw one of these out at the ranger station. I got to, for the first time, I got to see the entire
Yes,
operation.
they have the third one.
I had never seen it before. Of course, all I seen were the stacks that are left.
Yeah.
And guys, for all you out there, when you hear me say that Ironton was the center of the world's leading pig iron industry, it was because of all these furnaces in the local area that
Yeah,
made
so
that
here's a
possible.
map showing where they were, the whole Hanging Rock Iron region. This is Ohio at least, and then it's Kentucky.
Newspapers and how Ironton became capital of the Iron Empire newspaper. With a picture of the founder of Ironton, that's John Campbell.
What's up with them shoes?
Yeah, so
Don't step on me.
their shoes would melt because it was so hot. So even now in a lot of factories, they have to wear the special wraps and stuff around their shoes. So that was their solution, working around the furnaces with wooden shoes, kind of coverings.
There's the shoes she's talking about.
They don't be very comfortable.
Yeah, it don't look like
Called peddler shoes. Puddler, peddler. Can you imagine your shoes melting?
Did these bricks come from one of the?
Yes, all over the place. A brick collection from about everywhere. So there's the map of the furnaces. Here's one that shows kind of beyond Lawrence County, but quite a bit.
And guys, this over here, as you see this whole model here, this whole operation, now all you'll see is a furnace much like this one right here.
Yeah.
That's all you'll see left is that old stack. And we have several of those around here in the local area.
I love all these little like statue thingies.
Yeah.
They're cool. They're unique.
Some old pictures up here on this.
Sorry, guys, I was looking around. Give me just a second. I'll try to catch up with the chat here a bit. Hello, CJ Mobley. Cody, how you doing? Fab Daddy 44, good to see y'all. Said, listen to the creaking and the floorboards. Yes, it is an old house, man. Old house. There's a few of them in here, probably about as old as Ironton is. So we do have a few.
The house was built.
It was built in 1870, and then there were some additions on the back and upstairs that were added a little bit later.
What is this big long like white thing, gray thing, whatever? What is that?
Still zoomed in.
What you talking about? The stick?
Yeah.
There's another old picture of the Martin Henderson and Company Hanging Rock Foundry in 1875. And it's the men who worked in the furnace. I'm trying to get in on that so you can see it. It's an old black and white. I love pictures. And here's another.
Hopefully you're not camera shy.
Hanging Rock Iron.
You look beautiful.
I like being behind the camera, not in front of the camera.
That's the great thing.
Beautiful. Thank you.
It's the great thing about me being so ugly. See, I turn it on to where it's facing that way, and I don't have
be
to.
on that end of the line. April can catch up, I guess.
Yes, I'm right behind you.
Show them some of the old tools here. Old shovels. All right, guys, on with the tour. That was the iron ring.
So this is the parlor, so very formal sitting and gathering room, which is kind of still what we use it for, but everything in here is from the Campbell family. So John Campbell, of course, was the founder of Ironton. So we have pictures of him and his family everywhere. We have his family Bible, some things, his personal effects, always kind of trickling in new things that belong to him, so we add it to this room. But a lot to look at, encyclopedias and books that are kind of fun to sit and read through.
If someone wanted to donate directly to the museum, how would they do that? Other than showing up here? I mean, if they didn't
We'd
live
love to
here.
have them here. We do have a PayPal, and I'll have to ask her what it is. people mail checks or they mail money orders or they just come and visit. And
All right, we'll get the address and the PayPal here after a while. And,
okay.
John Campbell room. Like I said, John Campbell was the founder of Ironton.
and let's see. Fab Daddy was wanting to know how they fed the furnaces, what fuel they used. I assume they used coal.
So originally they would use charcoal, which is made from the timber that was here. They would kind of heat it until all the carbon was out of it. Later, when they depleted all of the trees, they switched to coal, which was then coke fueled furnaces. And then it required limestone and iron ore. They would melt it all together in the furnace. And then what would come out was pig iron. What they would scrape off the top, the waste, was slag, which you can still find everywhere, the little black glassy rocks. That was kind of the waste material. They later used it to fill in when they would build the roads, dirt and slag.
Now, Colonel Gray over here in the picture, he used to live in this house, didn't he?
Yes.
Did he build the house?
And then here's a really old phone.
I'll get over there in a
Here
second, bud.
is Emma Gray, which was probably Colonel Gray's daughter.
What is that, an old accordion?
It's a baby
Sure
picture.
is.
So we try to, when people donate, display as much as we can. We have a warehouse that houses the old wagon, a lot of clothes and stuff, but we try to put on display as much as we can.
Do you know anything about the address?
It's hard to, I'm getting my reflection in the glass here. Hard to see through the glass. There we go.
Here's an old picture of John Campbell.
And yes, Fab Daddy, this is technically a free tour, though we raised $163
Yeah, we
to
don't
donate
charge
today.
anything
So
for
that,
admission or tours.
but the tour itself is free.
Yeah.
But since they don't get grants from anybody, they operate on donations. So
And we can get grants sometimes for specific projects. We do try to go after as much of those as we can. We're working on an Underground Railroad grant to try to get in more materials and resources to teach people about the Underground Railroad history here. Unfortunately, there's not a lot to gather to bring here. There's not a lot of record of it. A lot of it was just recorded history. So we're reaching out to other organizations that do that kind of stuff to try to get some of that here. So we're working on that. But building maintenance and that kind of stuff, no grants for that.
now Nakoti's asking me to ask about Nannie Kelly Wright, but I'm assuming she's coming up somewhere in this tour,
she's
right?
Next.
All right, Nakoti, it's coming. Just hold on to your hat there. We'll get to Nannie Kelly Wright.
But people love coming in and looking through. We have scrapbooks, yearbooks, these encyclopedias, history books people have written. That's what I do when I'm there. I like to just go through all the books.
This is the picture that I see commonly.
There you go. I'm sure there's some kids out there that would have no idea what that is. They don't even recognize the one with a dialer on it anymore. So.
We had a clock and she was like, what is that?
No touch screen on that one.
Hi, Kelly Fitzpatrick. We're taking a tour of the museum in Ironton. Yeah.
There's a picture of John Campbell, who is the man who founded Ironton.
Not terrifically old, but getting there. Not a lot of people remember. Yeah. So they were asking about Nannie Kelly Wright. This is the room devoted to Miss Nannie Kelly. I love her. She's an amazing, fascinating woman to read about. So all of this stuff belonged to her. We have pictures. The Kelly Castle that her father-in-law built used to be at the top of Indian Hills. It's no longer there.
There's what she's talking about, if I can get to it.
It's way up there.
Unfortunately, I can't zoom where I'm at.
So this, people up here, this top left picture, that's still there, out on 93. That was her summer home. The picture to the right is the block behind us. That's still there on 5th. That was the Kehoe house later. That was hers. It's no longer there. But that's the house that was moved from a different part of town. She held a entertaining as it was being moved through Ironton.
Rosemary Kelly.
So this was the furnace that she managed, center furnace. That was in, people might remember Superior, where the old cement plant was. This, we put together a map of Superior and pictures of where everything was. There's nothing left now. It's just, there's an ATV trail there now.
Superior is one of those little towns that popped up and then popped right back out.
Yes. So we're working on, with Wayne National and the Chamber of Commerce, having a historical marker installed there, either about the village or the furnace. That's still a couple years out.
And guys, that house they're showing up on that top left, I wish I was taller so y'all could see it. Actually, that is the old home place of my grandfather as well, out 93 there. He was born and raised in the same spot. So see how my family history kind of ties right in with
Clarence and Minnie Dalton lived there. Yeah.
right. My grandfather was Clarence, son of Clarence and Minnie.
Yes, got it. There's a lot of kinfolk around then. Yeah.
My mother is one of those original Dalton gang. They actually hail
Wow.
from the Old West Outlaws, the original Dalton gang. So
That's amazing.
that's where we come from. So I got a little outlaw in me. Anyway.
So her son, Lindsay, this was his baby dress.
1927.
And yes, guys used to wear dresses and not get made fun of.
Yeah.
It
Kind of a
happened.
nightgown.
Just
So-
get rid of like a baptized there.
Christening gown, maybe.
Those were only at the library, but I guess the museum has them too.
I'm hoping that this is coming well through the camera, guys.
Yeah, that's actually all her stuff.
Like,
Yes, all the stuff in this case that I'm currently showing you belong to Nannie Kelly Wright herself.
So I did an article not too long ago in the profile about the Martin Hotel, right? Park Avenue Apartments now. But Nannie lived there in a suite until her death. So a lot of this is stuff that came from that Martin Hotel when she passed away. So this was her driver. This is Alec Tolliver. He was a former slave that she hired. He wrote a lot about her and talked about that she treated him really, really well. He felt like a part of their family. So a lot of the history, the little anecdotes we have came from him.
They're pretty. And there's this little chair over here.
The lady already told me about this from this family. It's just she bought Woodward Paris.
Yes, there's a Paris label on it. This is when
This
she,
dress is one of Nannie Kelly Wright's. She wore this dress when she was presented to King Edward the 7th of England.
so at one time, she was the second richest woman in the world, second only to the Queen. And later in life, when she ran a little low on funds, she sold diamonds for money.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. She had a cup full
A
of
cup of
diamonds.
diamonds that she would sell when she needed some extra cash.
Too bad I can't get back bad in my life where I have to sell my diamonds to make cash.
I don't think we have any of those.
Yeah.
Hey, babe, do me a favor. Sit close to me. Keep me from doing that, would you? Yes, I am clumsy. I'll walk right into stuff. Keep me from doing that, please.
So
I'll try to help you out
we
with
have
that.
these for sale here.
Well,
For
plus you're
cookbooks,
filming, so you're not
anecdotes,
real
different things about her.
noticing what's going around you.
They got them for sale. How much are they?
What does this postcard say?
I should have known that before I told you about it.
I'm down. I can't read it.
We step over there.
Kelly said, look, I want a cookbook.
Let me find out.
Here's the thing with a whole bunch of different pictures in it.
All right, let's see.
Statues of people.
Fab Daddy's asking, is Ironton part of the Ohio land rush? I don't even know what that is, to be honest, Fab Daddy.
They are $5. The cookbooks are $5, guys. You can't beat $5. to help the museum out.
But some of the ingredients in them, I had to ask what they were, because it's not like it's just stuff we have. So that was a learning
Kelly said, yes,
experience.
please. Did I pick Kelly up from the town? You know Kelly Fitzpatrick?
yeah.
So she lives around here?
No,
She doesn't.
Oh.
no,
So-
Kelly doesn't live around here, but she is
We can
a
mail
great
them.
person to have in your chat. Hello, Kelly, if you're out there.
She can mail you a cookbook. Just contact the museum.
Oh, I can give it to you. So Nannie's fascinating. To be a woman working as a manager of an iron furnace in the 1800s was unheard of. She was a socialite too, but she ran things. It was a tight ship and was not one to be messed with. She's interesting.
And what is the phone number so I can give it to her?
My number might be easier, and it's in the Tribune, so you can get my number out to people.
Okay.
It's 740
740
646
646
4104.
4104.
So if you guys have questions or want any of the merchandise or anything, donation,
Or
give me a shout.
cookbook.
Or a cookbook.
That's the number to call.
I'll show you the gift shop before we leave, the other stuff that we have for sale.
Oh my, they have a gift shop, Kelly.
Yes, Nakoti, there's also a military room. We'll get there.
Yeah,
We'll get
it's right
there.
above us.
One room at a time, guys. One room at a
How do you
time.
like that little stove?
Huh?
How do you like that little stove?
So the Foster Stove Company was in Ironton, close to where BC Tool Rental is now. We have a couple of these. That's where that came from.
I'm just glad we don't have to heat with one anymore.
But it's pretty.
Oh, they are beautiful, but they're not very efficient,
Efficient.
unfortunately.
We're safe.
When you just have to stand around a hot piece of cast iron.
So this is the dining room. We have teas here, meetings, dinners, get-togethers, and it's where we kind of put our temporary display. So this is the Underground Railroad stuff that we do have. We've put on temporary display. We're about to take it down because we're gonna have the spring tea. And then we're doing a law enforcement week where we're gonna have a lot of stuff from the police department, sheriff's department in here. But we've had a couple schools come in, bring their classes to learn about the Underground Railroad.
Did you say you're going to have a law enforcement week?
Yes, I guess we're not doing it. Somebody else started it. We're just participating, and we're gonna have a.
Are they going to do it here?
Yes.
I'm going to give my contact information. If you wouldn't mind letting me know, I'd love to come back for something like that.
Sure, yeah.
Since we chase the cops around all night with a camera anyway, I might as well get in on the law enforcement.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a lot about Dean Markle. If you, I'm not old enough to remember it, but when he was shot, the jailbreak and all of that, we'll have a lot
I
of
was
this
getting
stuff.
ready to story about that.
Yeah. We'll have a lot of
Giving
his,
it away.
a lot of his stuff. Yeah, will be here. A lot of the newspaper stuff they've already copied.
I have 3 or 4 stories I'm working on for my channel.
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
All right, guys, it says that John Campbell was the founder of Ironton and is often called the father of the iron furnace industry in Ohio. He grew up in Ripley with the well-known underground operator John Rankin. It is thought that Campbell's anti-slavery views grew out of his friendship
She recently
with
passed
Rankin.
away and her daughter was going through her estate. She donated some
So he would
toys,
actually
some
help
basic toys for
Funnel
the
slaves through the Underground Railroad, through his iron towns, through his, his furnace network,
Willis and James
and
who were killed in action.
actually help slaves escape
I have a sign to put up for
from
it.
the south to the north.
What war was it killing?
World War II, I believe. World War II. Temporary displays, we try to rotate things if we can get things on loan from other places. We've done,
Look at this chair cover.
try to keep it interesting.
And then it's got the little 19 bench couch.
It's got little rollers on the bottom of those too.
I love the warning, how you have to warn people. History may contain things that offend you. Are you kidding me?
Bit of a language warning.
Are you kidding me?
Well, we don't change it. We won't edit anything or censor it, so we just have to say.
I
like
know,
this
but the
stuff
fact
don't
that you
like.
have to warn them about it, like they're uneducated enough not to know that history contains things you don't always like. But to forget it is silliness. Well, that's my opinion anyway. Not everybody shares my opinion. I'm willing to admit that.
That's the museum before it had any renovations done to it.
I know I'm kind of running through this quick, guys, but you guys can always go back and pause and read all you want. I'm trying to get a clear image so that way you'll be able to do that in the future if you want to. Unfortunately, I don't have time to slow down and read every single word in this place. There are too many words to read, guys. There's too many papers, too many places, too many things to
It's a
see.
lot. You have to just come and spend some time.
I could definitely spend a lot more time.
So this is
Oh, go right ahead.
I'm getting ahead of you. The house we're in, this was it before any kind of renovations or anything were done to it.
There you go, guys. There's the house we're standing in right now.
Used to look a little different.
And again, when we're done here, I'll go out across the street so you guys can see the whole thing again and get a little bit better picture of it.
When they're cut up, we can go upstairs. Early 1900s.
She told the story of somebody they had passed away and they donated this stuff. This was their brother's stuff.
Look at the design in it, and it's got mirrors in it. Don't look at me in the mirror. I'm still camera shy.
Which they also donated.
That's Purple
some
Heart there,
toys.
guys.
They donated some toys too. Also, they're upstairs.
I don't want to get yelled at. Yeah, you. Check out.
Areas donated tea sets, china sets.
It's kind of hard to read, ain't it?
Yeah, it's a little faded by time. Time will do that.
Look at this china cabinet.
And there's more, it's kind of covered up with this.
Oh, and more. All the glassware.
Hey, B. Joe, how you doing out there? Good to see you. Glad you decided to join us today.
You want to go upstairs?
Sure, I'm following you.
More creepy stairs.
So many times I've driven past this place and wanted to stop. Of course, it's never open on the times and days I decided to come by, and time is not my friend. And here you go, guys. Here's another phone that a lot of kids won't recognize just because I see it sitting back there. That is a telephone, believe it or not.
No touch screen on that one.
No, it's not as smart as some of the phones today, is it?
So a lot of this is scrapbooks that people have donated, yearbooks. People go through an estate and they don't want to throw away, the scrapbooks. So these are fun to you could spend hours just looking at the pictures, and there's newspaper clippings, family Bibles that provide a lot of genealogy information.
So would that be something an average person could sit around and take a look through?
Definitely, yeah.
We'll have to come back for that for sure.
I know, I love just sitting and looking through them. So we have kind of the old
You're welcome, Kelly.
sports stuff, irons and tanks, professional football.
It's a foreign object.
It became the Chicago Lions, right? I'm not the sports expert.
I'm not sure who the Tanks went on to become. They went on to become somebody other than the Tanks.
The Detroit Tigers.
Oh, the Chicago Bears. Look, we were close.
Well, it was one of those teams.
I am not the sports person at all. I don't do the sports
Me
part
either.
of the tour.
But yes, guys, our own famous irons and tanks, or infamous, I guess, maybe now, of course, became the Bears many years later.
On the sign in front of us and still missed it.
Are these built into the house? Like
Blair
into
is,
the wall?
I
No.
think so. They look custom made for it, but I think they're
Isn't that
surface.
whole shelf just beautiful?
I mean, when they built stuff back then, it was built to last forever.
Yeah.
And like now, stuff falls apart in a month after you buy it.
well, it's engineered that way, so you have to buy another one. That's the idea.
And all of the attention to detail and everything.
Sorry, guys, I'm trying to avoid the glare as much as possible.
She said Hummel's inland work is what she said.
There's our Waterloo Wonders.
Waterloo Wonders, there's a little info about them.
Missionary.
Which were also another great team.
And then we have the sports wall.
Get the glare off of it there so they can read it.
I'm not a sports person either.
I know sports when I see it. That's about it. I'm probably the only hillbilly in the world who doesn't have anything to do with sports. Or
Not my first thing.
I learned I don't care who has the ball, which side of the field it's on, where it's going. It doesn't matter to me.
And of course, Tanks Memorial Stadium, named for the Tanks. There's an old picture of that. So I don't know what year, but those cars look very old.
Wiseman. I can't read that one from here. That's neat. And Coy Bacon. I think we actually have something hanging downtown about Coy Bacon, don't we?
Yeah, one of the flags, maybe.
Yeah, one of the flags down 3rd Street or one of the side streets.
He's a big old guy too. Did you ever see him?
Yes, absolutely.
Big and huge, big and huge. Something that I couldn't even aspire to.
Let's stand back here so you can see this. Look at these floors.
Ironton
I saw him
tanks.
stand behind a man who I thought was incredibly big once, and it dwarfed him. I'm like, that guy's a giant.
And there's another bench right there.
Of course, if you're going to play in the NFL, you have to be a giant. Little guys like me don't get to play football.
Got the flower pattern.
We might get to be a football, but we don't get to play.
So that's just, they have stores here.
So you can have a little VIP
Iron
feedback,
daggers.
how to get up to the tower.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
It's
there you
filthy.
go.
I wouldn't recommend it. Spiral stairs all the way
I
up.
will go. Don't think I won't.
It's
You guys
dirty.
wanna go to the tower?
Very dirty.
Is it
We don't care
safe
how dirty it is.
structurally?
It says it's dirty, we don't care.
Straight up and down and filthy.
I think none of us would love to see that. Anybody wanna go to the tower?
Well, for historical purposes, if you wouldn't mind, we'll climb, at least look out of it.
How about it? Just be careful.
We'll
Like
show
climbing
y'all.
a ladder.
Show y'all what it looks like from the tower. Well, it ain't my first ladder, I don't reckon. It won't be the first one I ever fell off of either, for that matter, I guess, guys. If I can get my little stuff up in here. Oh, it's kind of tight here, guys. Give me a second. Very small.
Was that an accurate theory?
Get up in here to the actual tower of the house here. There's some portholes there. And here we go. Up into the top of the tower proper here. There's my car underneath that pink flowered tree there. Show you a little bit of Ironton out here today. Got the storm clouds in the air. Don't know if it's going to rain or not, but quick look from the tower, guys. We've got extra stuff up here. I guess it ain't got room for anywhere else. Alrighty, guys. Get back down out of here now. Very small, very narrow. Good thing I'm a tiny guy. Let's get over here and show you out the portholes here. Better view. It's hard because it's so small. It's hard to get much of a view, guys, to show you what I'm really looking at. Just a very small space. Of course, when we get back on the outside, you'll see that the tower, of course.
Who did this? It's Miss Ohio.
Miss Ohio, 1962.
We have
Wanda Stanley Gillette, native of Proctorville. Apparently, she wore this dress as Miss Ohio. I'm assuming the mannequin is not like her, but the dress she wore
It
anyway.
could be a
Well, I guess it could. I don't know. Well, here she is down here. I guess it does kind of look like her.
Mm-hmm.
There's the mannequin. So I guess in a way it kind of does look like her a little bit.
guys saw it and died in.
And this must be the military room I've been hearing
Military
about.
room, we have stuff from the Civil War all the way to current Iraq, Afghanistan. We have Colonel Lambert's, a lot of his stuff.
And then you
Hats,
have the
weapons,
military. I like to
knives.
include the female in there.
Just about everything.
And not every, just all of his men. You have the military nurse over here. Virginia Payne, Jenny Payne Wilson, pharmacist mate, 3rd United States waves, 1944 to 1946. That's her clothes.
So we have these roster books, just about everything, stuff that's been donated for families. These are fun to sit and go through. You could just spend hours
Hear that, guys? You can spend hours at the museum.
and probably find your relatives
They
in
even
here
have
somewhere.
family Bibles here, which I think is exciting.
So we have Captain James Lawrence. Lawrence County was named for. So the famous line, "Don't give up the ship," right, came from Captain Lawrence. So that's what Lawrence County is named for. So a little bit of everything. We have discharge papers, letters that were written to family back home.
This is when World War II ended. May
You should
7th,
see where she's
1945.
I will, dear. I've got to get through there. I can't be everywhere at the same time. One thing at a time.
It was called the world's bloodiest conflict in the newspaper. Can you believe that? And that's the Ironton Tribune. That's awesome.
Oh, hair clippers.
And here's a big frame of pictures. They just don't have room for everything. They try to display everything the best they can. I think they do a really good job.
Yeah, we're gonna
These
try to
ladies
add
worked
some.
really hard getting this stuff in here. You know they did.
Yeah, we're gonna try to add shelving in here to try to display more. We are kind of running out of space, but we don't want anybody left out. The family donates stuff to us, and we want to make sure that it's put on display and honoring their family members. So one of our newest portrayals in the cemetery walk is Dean Gilfillan. We found his Purple Heart in with a bunch of historic pictures. So last year, on our season opening, we had a display for him, and then we were able to add his character at the cemetery walk.
Yes, we have the cemetery walk every year in the fall, and people will portray, they'll dress up and portray people that were buried there, and it's kind of like a little skit or something, and you walk through the cemetery and they tell you stories.
It's so fun. We usually have a couple thousand people.
I've always wanted to go, I've actually never been on one.
It's a busy time of year. It's the last Saturday in September. There's always a lot going on. So, but weather-wise, it's kind of the best time to do it, I guess.
Then you have a whole military, behind me you have a whole military platoon, and a whole military platoon. And it says, what's that say? MacArthur, Ohio, Camp Benton, 1937.
So there was a
Almost 100
military
years
camp.
old, guys.
I can't remember the name of it. That is where the old Ironton Middle School used to be. It's not where the elementary school is. That was a military camp, and then there was one in around Portsmouth, Camp Sherman.
I mean, you can always go back in this video later on and pause it. If there's anything you want to look at, you can zoom it in on it or look at it closer. You can't zoom in on YouTube. I'll tell you what you do. You pause the video, you take a screenshot of it on your phone, and then you go to your photos and look at the screenshot you took, and you can zoom in on anything you want to zoom in on. That's just a secret.
Sounds like a long way around to do it.
I'm just sharing with
They
you.
could just come and see it in person.
Or you can come see it in person. Hey, Terry, we don't live here.
I haven't made it there yet. Still working my way around that direction, baby.
So a lot of this in here was.
I can't get through here.
To the house.
true. Kind of creepy.
Sorry, guys, I haven't been watching the chat quite as close. I apologize. I'm trying to keep up, but I'm also trying to show you all the history here as best I can in the time that we have. Because I have a feeling that I could spend days in here if they would
The
let me.
veteran suits donated from Dr. Massey's family. I love it.
You're missing my special center.
Yeah, be quiet so they can still hear it. If you're talking over, they can't hear it. Hey, there I am. I see me.
Just not a real kid.
There you go, Dark Watch. You were worried about them keeping me on display. Here I am, right here at the museum. Do not sit on bed. Something tells me that's not as historical as the rest of it.
Look at this ad.
Is this a family at 2nd and Pearl Street, Iron Empire family of Agnes McCarthy? Is this a family Bible or is it a photo album? It's a photo album, guys. Look.
Oh, the baby. Neat.
Those are old pictures.
And these weren't like quick snaps, so they had to stand there forever just to get it exposed. Kids were probably not thrilled about that.
Wasn't
You're
exactly
welcome,
instant
Kelly.
pictures back
Thank you.
then.
No
was it?
Polaroids.
I appreciate it. Thank you for your support.
Don't wear any shoes, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
They must have little skinny feet.
Yeah. They are tiny.
I don't know where you got that I was wearing shorts, Fab Daddy. I'm absolutely not wearing shorts, I promise you. I don't wear shorts because people wonder if I'm riding a chicken, so I tend not to wear them.
It's cradle.
Much love to you, Kelly Fitzpatrick. Don't forget your cookbook. She was on break. She said thanks for keeping her
Oh, that's a
occupied
cute
while she was
dress.
on break.
Oh.
They made such pretty dresses then.
This chest of drawers. That is lovely.
There we are again.
I know I keep getting myself the mirror too.
Well, Dark Watch was saying I was so old that they might keep me once I got here, so showing them in the mirror they had.
So we have a lot of the railroad photos. The railroad was the first thing built in Ironton before anything else. So it started, of course, at Railroad Street that we still have. You can still see where it was. And went along out through the country to the furnaces. So it's 13 miles long, the Iron Railroad. That's all it did. It served the furnaces, it turned around, and it came back. So it ended at Center Station in Decatur Township, if you know where that is.
Yep.
And would come back. So later it was absorbed into the DT&I and then went further. It connected with the CH&D, and they were bought and sold so many times. The names changed quite a bit, but you can still see all the way out there the grade from the railroad. So this is pictures of both of those, the steam engines and later the DT&I cars, the tunnel. A lot of people have been to the tunnel.
The hollow that I live in had the DT&I running right up the middle of it. And I could take you to that tunnel. I know exactly where
It's
that
very
is.
muddy. I was there not too long ago. It's a muddy mess.
It's on Panel Hill.
Yes.
And
So
there's
you're
a
driving
cemetery
there. Yeah.
Have you been to
I
the
saw on the
cemetery?
map a cemetery, but I've not been to it. Have you been to it?
No, I've been
It's
wanting
right
to go.
close
I
by
have-
there.
I have a friend that knows where it's at.
That's neat. I saw it on the map and I
On my
thought, there's
bucket
a
list.
cemetery there? Yeah.
This is the tunnel.
Yeah.
And part of that's still out to Tunnel Hill.
Yeah, and you can
Out
still
Lawrence
go into
Street.
it. It's flooded, but you can walk into the front of it. It's a muddy mess, but still very accessible. Just
The train
Where
track's
we-
still there?
No.
Well, I took the tracks
No, the
out.
tracks have been gone for a long time. The tunnel's still there, though. Of course, the tunnel, I imagine, will always be there. We're all too lazy to go fill it in.
and
Now,
then
when
there's
I do a lot of
more.
my stories, some of them talks about the train depot, and that's how people traveled back in the day, was the DT&I Railroad.
And then there's a few CH&D tunnels at Telegraph, Dean State Forest.
And see, guys, derailments are not new in Ohio. There's one there. You'll have that.
Yeah, there was one in Haiti.
Yeah. Maybe the derailment.
Okay, so the shoe that's here, you want me to just give it to them or what?
This is the back staircase, isn't it? Or is that the one with them up?
These are, yeah, so these are the servants' access.
Oh, the servants access.
Yeah.
See, we got to come up the regular VIP stairs.
These are about like the stairs going to the tower. Tall and narrow and
I didn't
a little
go to the
scary.
tower yet. I know it's awesome. She got to tell me more history and I had to stop and listen.
So these we got not all
This
too
is
long
the
ago.
servants back staircase.
This is Ralph Lee. He was the prosecuting attorney in Lawrence County. If you remember the story of the Polly children kidnapping case, that was Ratliff ancestors. So he was a prosecuting attorney here. So we only got these a few years ago and were able to display them. It was very exciting.
The prosecuting attorney back in what, 1800?
Yes.
And this. That's all. Don't ever.
I assume this was
So
Miss
this is from the
Prosecuting
Apple
Attorney.
Show. Yes, his wife, Harriet, I believe was her name. So the Apple Show that we had in Ironton.
Now that's down on Vernon, right? Or Farmer's Market.
Gary?
Mm-mm.
Who
What's
you
that?
say holler at? Terry?
Terry? I'm Terry. Somebody looking for me?
Oh, Terry.
Yeah.
She wants to order a cookbook and one of you said it should mail it to her.
Yeah, Nicole told her she would take her order and mail it to her. It's probably Kelly.
Probably is Kelly.
Or maybe it was somebody else.
This is a code.
Well, good. Somebody's on the phone to get a cookbook.
I want a cookbook. That one's a cookbook, Terry. We'll get one.
I will tell her, Fab Daddy. I sure will. I'll let her know here in a bit. Right now, she's on the phone taking a cookbook order. Hopefully,
Cookbooks. The Lawrence County Museum has cookbooks. It's a
is that
Nannie Kelly Wright's recipes,
Oh, is it?
and they're $5.
$5
You can't
is a
beat
good
$5 for a cookbook.
Yeah, I know, that's a good price.
Oh, that's a cool picture with all the men, the engineers lined up beside the train.
Cody said they sell cookbooks. Yes, it's Nannie Kelly Wright's cookbook. Cody, it's a copy of Nannie Kelly Wright's own recipes.
And she was the second richest woman in the world at one time.
I've got your number on here.
Pretty awesome. And the staircase. I don't want that staircase. Back up here so you get the big picture.
Hey, that's awesome. Cool.
Must be the kids' room.
Thank you. So the antique toy room, this is fun. Trying to keep my kids out of here. Yes, and bathroom you can't use. It's just for looks.
Well, we won't tell her we've already been in there, guys. We'll just leave that alone. Apparently, we're not supposed to use that one.
So this is the Civil War Underground Railroad room that we pulled most things out of to take downstairs. There's still a little bit left. And then Reverend Rankin, this is where he died. So
Reverend.
Rankin, so he lived here. He was.
Is that the same Rankin they were talking about with the founder that helped get the slaves out for the Underground Railroad?
Yes.
Okay.
Very much an abolitionist. He was related to the Gray family, so he came here in his last days, and this is where he died. Hence, this building's supposed to be haunted, but I've never seen anything bad.
Well, haunted doesn't always mean bad. Sometimes you just can't find your car keys, you know. Some of them have a sense of humor.
Kelly wants to know if she sends you $5 and you can pay for her cookbook.
Yes, I will take care of the cookbook, Kelly. Not a problem.
I told you it wouldn't be a problem.
We'll get it for you one way or another.
I want one.
Of course you do.
Oh, there used to be a cannon out on the lawn. You see the Lawrence?
It's at Woodland now, yeah.
It's at Woodland now. She
Yeah.
said.
There's been a couple people in my chat wanted to thank the tour guide. They said you're extremely good and they appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
One all the way from California.
Oh, nice.
I've got them all over the world in here.
Sounds like it.
At the same time.
The fun thing about the internet.
Yeah,
You would never see otherwise.
even a hillbilly like me can attract a following. Huh?
So a lot of the stuff from this room is downstairs on display for the Edinburgh Roller and stuff.
I left my coffee on the porch because I knew they had a couple of things in here. And I probably didn't want to get enough coffee in.
Well,
Hit
bugle.
that like button, you're right, Roseanne, thanks.
So Reverend Rankin, the abolitionist, was the uncle to Eliza Gray, so he came here to live in his final days and died here.
He died in this room.
Right,
What was his name?
Reverend Rankin.
Reverend Rankin, who was an abolitionist. And he died right here in this room, guys. Ron Rankin, abolitionist.
Abraham Lincoln.
That was the school project.
Pictures and the school project.
We probably
This is
displayed
right
it
here,
here.
family picture. Wow. And the old trunk.
And that is Burlington, guys. That's right up the highway. That used to be the county seat before Ironton.
If the house is haunted. If you believe in the ghosts. Because I couldn't be in a big house by myself and live in one because my imagination was running wild. That's why I don't have a big house.
I don't know if it's the ghost, but those creaking floors will definitely keep you up at night.
No sneaking around. Kids try to sneak in for cookies. Couldn't do it in this house. So the only room we haven't seen yet up here is the doctor room, the medical room. I think you detoured to the tower.
Oh, I see. I went out of sync, didn't I? That's a habit of mine.
Was it dirty, like I said, filthy dirty and hard to get to?
That wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
Well, I'm little, so it's easy for me to get in there. But,
So
all right,
we
guys,
had
the
the
medical room.
Martin Hospital, Dr. Martin. We have things in here from Dr. Massey.
We had a Martin hospital.
Yes. Things from Lawrence County General, odd and things we've collected over the years. We call it the doctor room.
I was born in Lawrence County, Jim. I'd say a lot of people here were.
Now, I didn't get to hear what you said, so you have to.
So this is the doctor room. That's what we call it, the medical room. So we have things from the Martin family. We have the Martin Hospital, Dr. Massey, things from Lawrence County General, and then things we just
Dr. Massey
collected.
delivered a lot of babies.
Yes. A lot of his stuff. Is
A lot of people in my generation.
So this right here, all of this stuff belongs to Dr. Massey. And odd and end things, triplets that were delivered,
Dr. Massey collection.
his parents and portrait.
He delivered a lot of babies at Lawrence County General Hospital before they tore it down. The Deaconess Hospital, where was that located?
That was on, I want to say 4th and Quincy. It's where the new Catholic Center is. I want to say it was maybe the 70s that was tore down, so people may remember that being there.
Where did you say it was at?
Where the new Catholic, the building they just built, like a recreation center, I can't remember what they named it, Parish Life Center, 4th and Quincy,
Oh.
that's where that was. And then here's another picture of it.
Okay,
So
so
people might remember this, they might remember that being there.
I want to say the other building that's, I think it's on 4th Street by the library. It's an apartment building now.
Yeah, the Roosevelt building. That was a hospital.
hotel, it was a hospital.
That was a
Oh,
hospital,
wow.
yeah.
Wasn't it a psychiatric hospital at one time?
I don't know. It's apartments now, the CAO runs those.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a medical hat quite like that one. Looks more like a fire hat, doesn't it? Is that for when the sky fell, if they needed a hard hat? I
Dr.
never knew a
Harry
doctor ever needed a hard
Neat.
hat. That's an interesting one for me.
Let me tell you guys, he was the guy who done all the autopsies. The coroner.
Hmm.
He was in almost every newspaper that I've been in. Dr. Harry Needy was the coroner in it.
That's interesting.
So the next time I find one of those, I'll have to bring it to your attention. And now we have his picture because remember I can screenshot it.
So we have up here is Dr. Hoffman. I know he was the prior one. Now it's Dr. Mack, but there's a lot of pictures from the hospital. A lot of people. Dr. Ing is still
Dr. Ing,
practicing.
yeah.
You know?
We have the kids as pediatrician
Yeah.
in the museum. She probably loves that. My kids love Dr. Ing. She was the sweetest person. Oh, here's triplets at the General Hospital. Look at those girls in the picture. And there they were as a baby. These old hospital.
That's cute.
Then you have the medical chair there too. No telling how old that is. 50s,
Yeah.
maybe
I'm not
40s.
sure.
I'm not sure
what the
how
age
old.
is, but even though like the IV, everything.
Just the way that the crank handles are made, where the feet things go, it makes you think that maybe it's the 40s is what I would think. I could be wrong. I'm not a
More
medical bed
pictures. I
expert.
mean, there's just so much here. People can just come and just spend
Come and
the
spend days
afternoon.
here.
Yeah.
I could definitely spend days in here,
Look at the baby shoes.
especially
I've
once I
been here
start getting into
12
the
years
books.
and still go through books and find new things.
Were the toes cut out because the baby outgrew the shoes?
I don't know.
I would say so.
Maybe.
The baby outgrew the shoes and they cut the toes open.
I bet babies even back then took them off constantly.
Yeah.
My kids never wanted to wear
Yeah.
shoes. Never.
They called those walking shoes.
Yeah, they still make those.
Because they
Undersells.
were hard bottom.
Everybody's first walking shoes come
Yeah.
from unders.
Because they had the hard bottom and they were supposed to have been better for your baby to learn how to walk in and better on their feet.
So this was storage, and we're trying to turn it into kind of a fashion room. We have tons at the warehouse of old dresses, hats. So we're trying to gradually put a lot of that on display here.
There's the Charles Gray Deaconess Hospital ambulance, the horse and buggy.
The very first one in Ironton, first ambulance.
The first ambulance in
Yeah.
Ironton, guys, right here, you're looking at it. I think, yeah, it won't let me turn it sideways. There it is. Isn't that awesome? That poor horse. In 1899, it says at the bottom, I just seen it, the first ambulance in 1899. Awesome.
And now they have, med flights, and it's come a long way.
Yeah.
We're going to show you that ambulance she was just talking about, guys. There it is. Looks a little bit different than the ones
They
you see
probably thought it
today.
was quick then.
Little film cans.
So they're gradually adding things. This room has only been here a few months.
Looks like a 1920s maybe, what do you think?
A little heel on it.
So the fashion room, we're still working on this, still adding things. It's not been here but a few months. It was just storage. But bringing a lot of hats, dresses, shoes, that kind of stuff here. So it's still a work in progress. Was this like a
You got a bunch of quilts
hair?
up there.
Imagine crimping your hair.
A hair crimper.
Heat it up and then
Yes, you would lay it in the fire or on
yeah,
the
heat
stove.
it up and then
Isn't that awesome?
I would burn my hair then like I do now, I guess.
And then they
I'd say you
graduated-
wouldn't be the first one to burn their hair with one of those.
They
just to guess.
graduated from this to using a clothes iron.
Oh,
They would you never seen the girls do that. You're not as old as I am. Shut up. Okay.
we always have these.
Make me feel old. So they would lay their hair upside down, turn your head upside down, lay your hair, and lay a wet towel on top
Oh
of
my
your hair,
gosh.
and then take the clothes iron
So you could hear it sizz
and just
don't trip over this and step up.
And I see it, and just iron the hair. It's ready to. Nice, absolutely.
No. She's going to the tower. Be careful. It's really dirty. It's really dirty.
Well, there you go, guys. Old medical bag. The doctor's bag.
I ain't going up there.
So I've showed you, I think, all of the rooms. Any questions? I will try a little pop quiz, see if I can answer them on a whim. Anybody?
Anybody out there have any questions while we're at it? I'll give you all a few seconds here to ask any final questions before we get close to wrapping it up. Hello, Top of TOs. How you doing out there today? Blanche Bowles, make stupid people famous. Hello, how you doing today? We have some interesting people in our chat, and some people have very interesting names.
Interesting. Well, I'm so glad you guys came. I'm so glad you're on the live stream. I'm glad I got to show you around. We have a newsletter downstairs with a calendar of events of things we're doing this year. So if
I
people
think
want
I
to
read
come
that
to,
already.
yeah, some of the special events we have. We're open every weekend, Saturday, Sunday, 1 to 4. Different events throughout the year. The next one is a spring tea. That's a big hit. They have a spring fashion show, so vintage clothes, models. That's a big hit. We'll do it again in November for a Christmas tea. We have the cemetery walk in September is another big one.
How old is this house?
It was built in 1870,
Built in 1870, Top of
and
TOs.
then this back part was added a little bit later. It's very old. And
What is the oldest item in the house?
oh, that's a good question. Probably some of the Iron Railroad stuff we have, I imagine, would be the oldest, because that's what came
Probably.
first. Some of the furnace stuff was old. Probably.
I think I got it, Top of TOs. Did I get your question? That was the only one I saw. Cody says, my question is above any old maps of the city and photos. Yes, there are tons
Yes,
of photos
that's
and
how
maps
you-
in here. There are a ton of books, and I don't have time to sit down and go through them all today, but maybe one day I'm going to come back in here and start going through some of this stuff.
Yeah, we have a ton of old maps from Ironton and from the county. We have the Sanborn map, the fire insurance map collection. Those are fun. You can find those online, but they're still fun to look at. I wanted to do a map display, and really it would have been just taking up so much space that we kind of nixed that off the list, but you're welcome to come and see them.
You're right, Orange Cones. I am definitely not the oldest thing in this house, even though I may feel like
I
it.
missed the opportunity there, didn't I?
Hey, Roseanne Mossman, how you doing today? Good to see you out there. I have the best group of people on the internet that follow me around this town all the
Sounds
time.
like it,
They are
yes.
great people. And again, while I have y'all on here, thanks to Dark Watch, Work Lion, and Blanche Bowles for their donations and making this walk today possible. Donating a little bit to the museum. Oh, there we go. There's Kelly Fitzpatrick putting in $5 for the cookbook. I'll take care of that, Kelly. I'll get one and I'll get it out to you in the next few days here. I would imagine if they have them available today, I'll take one home with me today.
Yes, you can leave with them.
Ida's asking me how come they don't have anything about Oakley Collins. Well, maybe they don't like Oakley here. Maybe they're prejudiced against the Collinses. I don't know. Probably.
Not a bit. There probably is stuff here of theirs, but if the Collins family, they're still around, so they probably haven't donated anything.
Possibly.
They probably still have it, but if they want to donate, we will definitely put on a display for Oak. No problem.
Well, he wouldn't be just necessarily Lawrence County history, would he? I mean, he had a lot to do with Lawrence County, but the state in general, you know what I mean? He was involved a little higher than just county level is what I mean. All righty, guys, I'm going to walk back down the steps and walk back outside so you can get a good look at the place and that tower that I was up in there a bit ago. You got an inside view. Step out so you can get an outside view.
I'll grab the cookbook.
And what was your name?
Nicole Cox.
Nicole. Nicole, thank you very much.
Thank you so
I
much for
appreciate
coming,
it.
and thank you to all of you for joining in. And
We definitely
Hopefully.
appreciate it. We've been chomping at the bit for the last few days to get in here. So thank you.
thank you.
I'll be right back to get that cookbook here in a minute. All right, guys, I'm going to get outside here and get y'all a view. Orange Cones wanted me to go across the street here and get a nice view of the whole thing. So I'm going to do that now. As soon as the traffic clears. All right, guys. Here's the whole house, and of course there's that tower y'all saw me looking out of there a bit ago, the 3 portholes in the bottom there and the top. So that gets you a view of the entire thing. Hey, Dark Watch, I don't need your help with the clean glass. I got something that rhymes with glass here. All right, guys. There is a kind of a quick walkthrough of the Lawrence County Museum, and of course it was established in 1988. And we could probably spend much more time in there. She doesn't have all that time today, unfortunately. I wish she did. But I'd say I'm going to make a return trip here pretty soon. And they're supposed to have something to do with law enforcement coming up, so I definitely want to attend that. And I would like to come back in sometime and sit down and start going through some of those old maps and some of the old books and the old pictures and things like that. So if I do that, I may bring you all with me. We'll see how that works here in the near future, guys. But for the moment, I guess that's going to be it for the day. Don't know really what else we can get into today. I am going to get that cookbook for you, Kelly. I'll get that here in just a few minutes. So, guys, I hope that was enjoyable for y'all on a Sunday afternoon. Hope you had a good time. I appreciate y'all being here with me, for sure. Don't miss the stoop out front. That was used to get the carriages. Yeah, I showed it on the way in, Cody, but I'll show it again. The old carriage steps here. It's from the home of Clara Schreiber, which used to be down on 712, down on South 2nd Street. And as you see, they aren't very, just to give you a size comparison, you can see my foot on it. They're not very wide, but that's just what the carriage would pull up to. And that's how you got out of the carriage. You know, they just pull up the side and you step down the steps and there you go. All righty, guys. Like I said, I hope that's, did I use the carriage steps to get in my car? I probably could if they weren't concrete orange cones. I pulled up close to them anyway. But guys, I'm going to leave it off here for now. Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all so much. You know I love each and every one of you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for taking the ride with us today. And guys, hold on to your hats. Maybe we'll get a chance to come back here in the next couple of weeks. They're supposed to have some other things going. I'm going to find out about all that here in a minute. I'll get Kelly's cookbook and we'll conclude the day. So y'all have a great day. And for the moment, Ironton Auditor out. And I'll catch you all in the next run.